Right now, Bitcoin is on the verge of an explosion. The global M2 money supply is pumping at the fastest rate in years. Ethereum rotation has just started, and altcoin season is gearing up at full speed. This isn't a drill. These are the exact conditions that lead the biggest gains of the entire bull cycle. In the next few months, the smart money will turn thousands into millions, and the late money will become exit liquidity. In this video, I'm going to show you why the charts and the macro data are screaming it's go time, how to position for the Bitcoin breakout, when to catch the ETH surge, and which altcoins could 10x plus before this run is over. Pay attention. This window will not stay open for long. So make sure you are subscribed to the Crypto Bliss community and you have those notification bells dinging in your inbox, and you give the video a smash pump on the like so that we too can grow with social media and with the hype that is busy going on. Now look, beautiful community, I did a crazy video for you over the weekend. It was about 45 minutes long as well, very similar to that in terms of the length, etc. I had such powerful information for you in that video, and unfortunately, you know, sometimes when your mind's a little bit all over the show, the truth is that you just don't click the record button. So unfortunately, I had to kick myself in the ass for doing that, but hey, it happens to all of us without a doubt at some point or another. Now, it's regardless of all of that craziness, this video I'm going to show you snippets of what I wanted to share with you in that video, of course, because that video was relevant to Saturday and today's Monday. It's a new day, it's a new week, but I'm going to show you just exactly what you need to see right here, right now on the Crypto Bliss community. So make sure to stay with me right to the very end, and let's delve right into today's content. Now, starting off here with where we're at the moment. We've done the Bitcoin run. We can see that very clearly. We've done the Bitcoin run. It isn't over yet. However, once Bitcoin's next rally starts, dominance is going to start plummeting even harder. More liquidity comes out of Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin is not going to get liquidity. I'm just saying that more liquidity starts to flow. People take profits, and institutions, without a doubt, will take some profits onto Bitcoin, because the cycle and the narratives have been to rotate from Bitcoin to Ethereum, to large caps, to mid caps, to small caps, to dollars, back into Bitcoin. That is your cycle. And here we are. Just remember that right now, really, I believe that, yeah, cool, Ethereum is starting to outperform. However, it's been going back and forth. So I think we're kind of at the beginning phase of the Ethereum takeover. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, yes, Ethereum broke out on the weekly time frame of this downsloping trend. However, there's some indicators that are telling us that we could just maybe make a small little pump up to the previous all-time higher, and the likelihood of us getting a rejection back down to 4,000 odd level is very, very high, and that will look like a trap. And if Ethereum is going to get trapped or going to create a trap, well, my friends, then altcoins will behave in the same manner. You just need to be conscious about that going forward. Now, on the ETH BTC chart, you can see that, yes, for the last sort of couple months, Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin, but it hasn't been outperforming it to the point where like we're going to have a party right now. However, with a very strong conviction and breakup back above the moving ribbons with a buy signal down here, a very solid bounce back up into this zone right here, we could be seeking to make much higher gains on Ethereum and outperform Bitcoin at this point. Is it going to go absolutely nuts? I don't know. I have no clue, ladies and gentlemen. But what I do want to say is that if we do break out of this downsloping trend line here, that we do have a very strong resistance level up here that we have not been able to break up above since 2018. So the likelihood of Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin in terms of, it's going to take over Bitcoin's market cap, no, it will not. I highly believe, and I'm convicted, and I'm saying that because we've now been 7 years underneath this level here right now. Call it the 0.08 level. We've been 7 years underneath this level, okay? And we haven't really made lower lows, okay? But we have come back to the baseline. And if we're coming back to the baseline, maybe there's such a strong resistance level up here that's where Ethereum's cycle ends. I don't know. I'd love to know what you believe will happen down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Now, the one thing that you need to know, and I'm only sharing data with you. I'm not telling you what to do, and nor am I following other people on YouTube and Twitter and X and whatever to, these are where my trades end. No, that isn't the case. Okay, so this person sold 33% of their ETH bag today, which was today, just 9th of August, excuse me. Most people will call me an idiot for what I'm about to do, but I've seen this setup back in 2017 and 21. And here's why I will sell everything by the end of October, which just so happens to be where I believe my Bitcoin peak will come in this cycle. However, I'm not quite entirely sure, but really we have August, September, October. That's kind of 2.5, maybe 3 months, just under 3 months at the max. I believe we're here. I do agree with that. I believe we're here. We have probably, we're going to probably have a little bit of a pullback at this point, maybe a little small pump before we have the pullback. Then we're going to have the first trap, which maybe be like 20, 30%. Okay. Then we're going to have the next massive like 2 to 3x gains on maybe like 1 to 2x on Ethereum, which means on your large caps like 2 to 5x, maybe 6x, and then on mid caps you're probably looking at like 10, 20x. So what we're seeing is at that point we will have very likely a 50% pullback and then one last massive pump up, which essentially is retail coming in to basically become exit liquidity for yourself and myself, who have been in this market since down here. And what I'm going to say here right now to you, my friends, is that it is so important that I clear this up with you. If you and I are smart enough to get in at the bottom and take profits along the way up to the top and cap out everything at the top, wherever the top may be, okay, you're 100% out at your specific target date, well, then why should I feel guilty for somebody else coming in at a later stage at that top of that cycle while they missed out on all of the entries below where I've been prepping myself for all of this? It just is what it is, and you need to accept it for what it is. We've all been on the exit liquidity side at some point or another in our lifetimes, okay, especially if you're doing trading and investing. And the thing is, you need to know when to move into the market and when to move out. And at this point, buying at the bottom when people are in disbelief and the market's at the worst scenarios, that's the time to buy. When people are screaming, buy, it's going on, it's going, that's when you get out, okay? That's when you know you need to exit the door, my friend. Take your profits and welcome to the Millionaires Club. That's all I can say to you right here, right now. Now, looking at an insight from a farmer who predicted 100 years of market cycle, predicts a bullish peak in 2026. That is somewhere around here. We're probably sitting and chilling maybe around this level right now, okay? So I believe we probably have one last little pump, like I said to you in this video here, maybe till April or May next year at the absolute most. Okay, and that looks like the next run up until end of October, probably now. Then a massive 50% pullback, for maybe a month or so, and then one last major rally. But you see, by me saying that, at maximum we have 12 months, and I wouldn't even say we have 12 months left. The evidence that I'm about to share with you can just show you exactly why. So stay tuned with me until the very end, because once we have that take profit scenario in 2026, there's going to be a bear market maybe for 2 years. I don't know, 2 years odd. Okay, at that time you would have taken your profits that you've made now with me on the channel, okay, and you would then recapitalize at that point with whatever narratives might be speaking at that point. Just remember to always take some profits back into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the number one asset. It ain't going anywhere. All of the institutional ETFs now own 1 million of the 21 million Bitcoin. That is big, my friends, massive. And as you can see here, we have a bullish cross on the MACD cross. We have momentum kicking in. We have the cycle repeating the same scenario here. We are literally getting ready to make the next pump to the upside. If you are not prepared for what it is that we are busy seeing unfold in front of our very eyes, a very strong gallop up the EMA ribbon, okay? Your MACD is starting to increase in volume. Yes, the stochastic is down a little bit. I believe we'll come down maybe to the kind of 50 area, and at that point, my friends, we're probably going to have the next major juicy delicious rally to the upside. XRP has had some incredible news itself. Saudi is now allowing the US citizens to buy property with XRP. Will this teleport XRP to $25? Let me know down in the comments below. $25 is an insane market cap. I mean, would be an insane market cap for XRP right now. I don't know. I could see XRP at maybe $10 this cycle, but who knows? There's a lot of liquidity coming into this M2 space. Ethereum, it has now just flipped MasterCard to become the world's 22nd largest asset by market cap. So you can see here, total assets by market cap continues to increase in capital in these narratives. Bitcoin is coming up at 2.4 trillion. It's about to, on the next rally, gobble up, without a doubt, Alphabet and Apple. That's $1 trillion, okay, between those positions right now. Once it gets to Apple, I don't know, maybe it sits there the rest of the year. We then start to see where that goes. However, let's go and have a look down here at Ethereum. Ethereum, it has now flipped into 22nd place, and we still have quite a way to go on Ethereum. Has now flipped Netflix, MasterCard, ExxonMobil, Palantir, Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, okay? We're coming up hot on Eli Lilly, which is a pharmaceutical company, the ETF Trust, and Tencent, China's biggest tech-based company. Visa, we're coming up on Visa. Same with Oracle, same with JP Morgan Chase. I'm pretty confident Jamie Dimon is absolutely not going to be joyous about that. Honestly, I believe that we could probably see Ethereum very, very likely flip Tesla and come up to around this area here, okay? 1.2 to 1.5, 1.6, even 1.8 trillion dollars. I believe we could see Ethereum come to that position. Let's go and have a look if we could be accurate. So right now, as we can see, Ethereum's market cap is around $526 billion. Now, what would it look like if we had to hit, let's say, $1.2 trillion, right? $1.2 trillion would give us a 9,941 trillion. That means Ethereum has to kind of 2 and a bit X from where it is. If we were to do 1.5, the 1.5 would take us up to 12,500. And if we were to hit the 1.8, we would get an estimated 15,000. Now, we know that there's been spicy rumors about this hitting 16,000. That would take us up to about 1.9 or $2 trillion. Now, if it did that, I can assure you right now that Bitcoin ain't going to let it chew up most of the liquidity in this space. And Bitcoin would very likely probably double to triple at the very least where we are right now. If you agree, make some noise by smashing the thumbs up on the video. I would truly appreciate that. Bitcoin is absolutely ready for a massive bull run. When we have the breakout, we pump. Breakout, we pump. Breakout, we pump. Breakout is happening. We're getting ready to pump, my friends. And again, boom. Ready? Pump. Breakout, pump. Breakout, pump. Breakout is busy happening. We're getting ready to pump. I reckon 300K is my personal target on Bitcoin. What is your target? Honestly, could probably go much higher than that, but I'm going to remain conservative on 300K. And another reason why I say this is, well, according to Plan B, that if the S&P has to hit $7,000, okay, which currently it's, 7,000 points, which currently it's only 10% away from that, we could see Bitcoin absolutely smash that 300K level. You really have to love the basement. Print, baby, print. I so agree with Plan B on that side. So just a reminder to make sure that you're keeping an eye out on the S&P 500 and its moves to the upside, because if the S&P 500 had to come up to this resistance level, which is quite likely at the 1.618, houses, friends, okay, which the M2 money supply, just by the way, is actually indicating that we could get there by April 2027. Now, that's still a long way away, my friends. Okay, that's still a long way. I don't think we're going to have the bear market rally like that for so long. But what I do reckon is that in October, we will somewhat reach up to that 7,000 level. The M2 money supply is absolutely ripping it, okay, on Bitcoin. We'll have a look at that in a short moment. So as you can see, M2 money supply is somewhat just kind of hovering at the moment. We're getting ready by November to make the next real move up. And that's why, you know, we could end up on the higher side of life and an extended bull cycle. Do I believe that we're going to see that? I'm not sure, my friends. I truly am not sure. And I certainly don't have a lamp that I'm busy rubbing that can tell me so either. But what I am bullish on is Apple has approved the first ever iOS game to accept Bitcoin payments. Do you know how big that is? That's Apple's sneaky way of taking your Bitcoin out your hands. Okay, don't give it to them. This was one of the most important parts of my video that I did for you on Saturday. We literally have only seen 4 halvings. We've been at this point, which was a year and a bit ago already. Can you believe how quick time flies? Well, my friends, we're heading up to the next halving cycle quite soon already. It's got another 3 odd years, and that's when it's going to happen. But we still have another 32 halvings to go. Do you know how bullish that is for Bitcoin? And we're currently sitting at $120,000 today. Can you imagine what would happen to Bitcoin in 2136 when the block reward is literally 1 Satoshi? Okay, I don't think you realize, my friends, but even by this point around here, around 2100 odd, I believe by that point, sure, my word, it's going to be extremely difficult to mine Bitcoin. And that's what happens throughout this time. This is real money. This is real currency, my friends. And so, Bitcoin is on track to reach 20 million by 2035. I would love to know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. And as you can see there, we're only here right now. We're getting ready to make the next pump up. According to this chart, we could be pumping up to 445,000. Massive pullback from there down to 85,000. I mean, that's quite a... Let's get a calculator out here and see this, ladies and gents. 445,000 divided by 85,000 equals... I mean, we're saying at that point that would be like a 5.2x down. That would be mad, okay, from that position. I don't know about that, but I guess only time will tell. Now, the cool thing about that is that even if that does happen, my friends, we will still not go below the previous cycle's all-time high, okay? We did somewhat very, very slightly here and was immediately brought back up, okay? If that were to happen, which I doubt so, because this cycle has institutions, nations, states, global, all kinds of things and people investing in it, we could see this massive pump, a very short bull market of maybe 1 year, and then the next buying season will start to come. And I think the next buying season will very likely be one of the biggest we have seen, because at that point, the retail would realize that they absolutely missed the boat and they have to get something, even if it's just something, right? Even if it's not a whole Bitcoin, they can get something, because all the millionaires and billionaires in the world right now are looking at Bitcoin like it is the best investment. And we continue on the incredible curve to the upside to very likely pump through to the $20 million over the next 10 odd years. I'd love to know your thoughts down below, and I'd like to go and share with you what a $20 million Bitcoin in terms of market cap would look like down the line. So scenario price 20 million, that's 2 million, 20 million, looks like an estimated $400 trillion market cap in the next 10 years. Could you, for the life of you, imagine how much printing is going to unfold in the next 10 years? If you thought 2020 was a big print, yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, okay? Because the next 10 years are about to be the wildest scenario. And that potentially in the next 10 years will give you a 166,000x multiplier. No, that's 20 billion. So sorry. Yeah. There you go. My bad. Okay. 166x multiplier. That's my bad. Okay. So 20 million giving us a $400 trillion market cap. It's still a big amount. Are you prepared for Bitcoin to absolutely gobble up everything in this list here? Okay. Because right now, that's 3 to 4x the total market cap of all assets in the world. So you can only imagine where we will be heading down the line. And that's why I continue to signal to you on my Crypto Bliss community that it is time to buy. It is time to X your gains. It is time to build long-term wealth, 10x your portfolio, make mega millions, because crypto is brewing. I have been warning you for months and months and months now that we are on the edge. And yes, the cycle might have taken a little bit slower, but isn't it worth it? So the last two charts I want to share with you, or the last three charts I want to share with you, first of all. When copper pumps, that's when markets and economies grow. When it dumps, that's when people run to safe haven assets like gold. Okay, then gold pumps and gold makes the rally, just like we've been seeing over the past few months now. In fact, the last 3 years actually, we've been pumping non-stop on gold. People have gone into a safe haven. Now, if you recall, that cup and handle pattern breakout was supposed to reach that level, right? 3,000. Look at where we're at. We're at $3,335. In other words, were more than 10% higher than the target that I'd set out from this very long 10-year cup and handle pattern, which means that people are no longer believing in the dollar, my friends. And that's why the dollar continues its bloody path down to the depths of hell. As you can see, it's lower lows, okay, lower highs consecutively. We're here now. I would not expect us, I would expect us to come down to the 88 odd level, make a strong recovery, probably with the pullback that we would expect in a couple months' time, back up to 100, and then a very fast drop down here once we get interest rate decisions happening. And over the next few years, I see the dollar weakening. And if the dollar weakens, okay, that means more power and strength to economy. So if the dollar weakens, interest rates are low, M2 money is increasing. Those are all three very, very strong key signals to tell us that we should be expecting a massive rally. Now, isn't this the interesting thing, right? This was the bear market, right? The bear market, copper is a strong indicator of market health. Bear market in 2008, one of the biggest financial crashes we've ever seen. We actually haven't seen something like that since then. Not even in 2020 here, okay? We saw massive downturns, but once this was done, shit, this was your time to buy, my friends. And if you bought copper down here, you literally 2.5 extra money with copper. It doesn't sound very nice and interesting really when you consider what Bitcoin does in the same kind of time frame. And that's why when Bitcoin had its inception at this point, we had a massive rally on Bitcoin at the first couple years, okay? Then we had a strong pull down, we had a rally, we had a pull down, and then a massive rally, and then we've had kind of peaks and all of this. Now, very interesting, right? That we've seen this massive candle that wicked up here. The significant thing that you need to know behind this chart is that we're creating higher highs. I already drew this breakout from here months ago from this head, shoulder, and head pattern, the kind of slant. We broke out of it, and our target was somewhere up here. We hit somewhere up there and pulled back down to somewhat this level around there, and then straight back down into a very strong support zone, which happens to be that February 11th, 2011 high. Now, what did gold do on February 2011, right? Somewhere around here. Okay? There. It started topping out, okay? And this then started to correlate with gold, and a pullback appeared. That was one of the strongest times that there has been correlation instead of divergence. Now, in 2011, we saw the dollar at this point bottom out. We then started to make its way back up here, which for the next few years really showed us that there was market economic weakness. And that's what happened for a long 10 years in copper, a long 10 years in gold. Okay, the markets were being purposefully suppressed. But when Bitcoin came along, well, my friends, 2011 in Bitcoin, we have not seen this train stop this whole time. Okay, yes, it's had pullbacks, but that's the beauty. And here's the most significant chart. This is the copper to gold ratio. This here, as you can see, was when the debasement of gold was taken off the debased against the dollar. Boom, the markets crashed. They bled to death. And we saw market strength in terms of dollars, and people made more dollars than they have ever made in their entire lives. Now, where we're at today, and having a little bit more of a closer zoom in here, we can see that 2008, okay, the financial crisis led to copper collapsing, which meant that gold technically increased at 2008. Where's 2008 here? 2008. Here you go. 2008, right? Increase. You see what I'm saying? I think you can see more and more what happens. Then we had market collapse there, market collapse there, market collapse there. Ironically, that was all 2020. It was telling us, get the heck out of the market. Okay. When it bottomed out, we then made the huge rally here. I doubt we have seen what we are prepared to see. We have not yet seen this low here of 2025. This currently is 81. The last time we saw this level was 84 back in April 2020. And before then, the last time we saw it was up here in 1986. Okay. At this level, copper ran hard. Okay, whenever we down at this horizontal 0.0001, boom, we bounce. Boom, we bounce. Boom, we bounce. We're getting ready to bounce, my friends. You need to know what is going on. So the key highlights is this. Push pause on the video, take a screenshot of this, go and read it for yourself, and just know that really, Dr. Copper is here to save the world's economy right now. And why is that, my friends? Well, make sure to rewind the video and go and play that back for yourself. Go and have a look at it. Come to longtermtrends.net, copper gold ratio, and see so for yourself. Play around with the charts. Take them and compare them to the dollar, to the S&P, to gold, to even to Bitcoin, whatever it is that you like. Now, the fresh and juicy part about all of this is that the total crypto market cap is breaking above its highs. However, even though we're opening up here nicely, we have a little bit of a pullback happening here. But the one thing that I do want to say to you is that, as you can see, there isn't really any indication that we are going to go up or down. For now, I would say that the likelihood is we're testing a breakout here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a pullback right back down to here, and then the rally, maybe, okay? But here on the BTC dominance, I've drawn for you some time now that we could probably look at doing something like this. Coming down to between the 40 to 45% odd on Bitcoin dominance. That would be absolutely incredible for altcoin season. And right now, as you can see on the weekly time frame, let's go for a very, very strong zoom in here, my friends. You can see that we marginally closed that candle at the bottom, underneath the bottom of the EMA ribbon. We're somewhat back testing this region. Maybe we come all the way back up here to just back test one more time in the next week or two, especially with the stochastic looking like this and the MACD looking like that. But really, right now, I believe we're probably going to cascade down. When we hit, okay, that level and we close below the ribbon, we literally just fall very quickly for a few months. Let's see that. We started there, 15th of March 2021, and it was over by 10th of May 2021. So this was like 4, 5, 6 weeks of absolute rip down to the bottom of the chart. Where's the bottom? The average bottom is around this zone right here, my horizontal level at the 39-40% level. I don't see us going any lower than that at this point. But what I do want to say to you is that our incredibly bullish altcoins have now created not only the head, the shoulder, the head and the shoulder, but we have also created a cup and a handle pattern. Would you like to see what the target for that looks like? Because if we put that out here at the breakout, our next target is somewhere up here. And like I said in my previous video here, the banana zone has been activated and 20x is absolutely incoming very, very soon. We should very likely see at least a 800 to $1 trillion coming back into the total 3 market cap, and that's all the large caps, the mid caps, the small caps. That's double where we are today, and that's just the first part of this rally. Okay, I say to you, when we look a little bit closer at our charts and where we're at and what's busy going on, with higher lows busy forming on the stochastic, Okay, higher lows busy forming on the price action. We are very much looking at the potential of maybe a small pullback here, but the next rally takes us up beyond into price discovery, which is somewhere around this area. And I'm going to draw this horizontal line in for us. Okay, that 1.16 area is the previous ATH, and that equals price discovery for us, right? So let's keep that in mind at this level. Once we take that out, there's no stopping this. So I would like to go and share now with you my trades. But before I do so, make sure you smash the thumbs up on this video so that we can obliterate the internet with Crypto Bliss community and videos that are giving you the strongest alpha in this crypto space. Now, Ethereum, as you can see, continues to rally. Okay, we've just had a very strong cross on the daily time frame on the MACD. Okay, with volume indication coming. The stochastics up a little bit, but what I would caution us is that we're somewhat coming into the territory of the highs here. Okay, we've got maybe another $600-700 until the peak here. We could pump up there and then have the pullback, or we could have the pullback and then pump and smash through the all-time high from here. I'm not sure, but I have a very strong intuition based on where all of our indicators are right now, based on the breakout, that we maybe have a push up to this area, and then people will start buying here. It flicks us up a new high, wicks us up a new high, and then immediately pulls us back down 20 to 30% down to the 4,000 odd area once again. Just trade them. Don't hate them. Don't date them. Just trade them, please. Make sure to use my Bybit link down below. Get yourself up to $30,000 deposit bonus. And let's go and kick some ass and trade together. Let's go and make some money together. Because my Ethereum is now up 96%. Wasn't like that the other day, was it? My Bitcoin is up 228%. Say is up 31%. Injective is up 25%. Arweave up 62. Ton 27. Solana is up only 4%. Kind of Solana's hovering. Now here's something I actually need to show you right now. Once liquidity starts coming back out of Solana, out of Ethereum and into Solana, I want to show you right now that we have literally been red. Look how low we're at. Look how low we're at. I am expecting a massive pullback on Solana against Ethereum. One huge green candle. Okay, something like this that will engulf this entire move, at least 50% of this move, probably coming at least up to here, if not back up to the 618. From where we are right now, that level is about 50%. That level is about 72%. Okay, at that point, I would sell my Solana into Ethereum, and I would then take my Ethereum and take profits into Bitcoin. Do you see how much more Ethereum you would make then? 70%, up to 70% more Ethereum. So if you had one Ethereum, you'd have 1.7 Ethereum now. And then you'd be able to take that 1.7 Ethereum and convert that 1.7 Ethereum into however much Bitcoin. Do you realize how powerful that is when Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin by 130%, which is 2x. So you've now likely got about 4 to 5 Ethereum worth of Bitcoin at $10,000 to $15,000. You do the sum, my friend. Okay, let's draw back to my trades here. Algorand up 25%, Rune 25%. Guys, I don't mind if my trades pull back a little bit now. I've got more dry powder on the sideline, getting ready to take the next charge of these profits. Rune 25, Dogecoin 56. AVAX is gonna go berserk. AVAX is 9%. ADA is up 18%. Theta 38%. SUI 6%. XRP is up 27%. Tensor 40%. Super 56%. Render 13%. Link 144%, my friends. So you see, all my trades are officially in green. And if you want to make money with me, then you best be subscribing to the Crypto Bliss community. And I truly appreciate you being here with me once again on the channel. And make sure that you don't get in late and become the exit liquidity at the end of the cycle. You're not early anymore, but it's still a decent time to wait for the pullbacks to unfold in the next couple days, maybe the next week. We don't know. Nobody has a genie in a bottle. What I can say to you is that when we look at the chart like this, it's okay. We're kind of hovering here now. Maybe we pull back. I mean, there's a level there, okay? But maybe we pull back to kind of shake the market out here. We pump up, pull back here, shake the market out, and then make the next move up. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. See you on the next one.